Hello everyone, welcome to Anime Amigos, the podcast where I ask myself, why do I still keep coming back?
Because you love us.
And you need the paycheck.
And it's your job, yes.
I'm Calvin Atkinson, the Pokemon punk. Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon.
I'm Reese, the Goddamn Guru.
I'm Ren, the JoJo genius.
I'm Meredith, the Vanguard Vagrant, and we are the Anime Amigos, the one group to ever receive a lifetime ban in the Barbershop Quartet contest. And the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gotta
Cause
catch 'em all,
Cause you ain't no holler girl.
Get 'em all.
Okay.
That was beautiful.
How do we...
How did we not get through to the second round of that competition?
I don't think we even got through the qualifiers.
Because Elliot went nuts and punched the judge. I told you.
Well, Simon Cowell had it coming.
Excuse me, he told me I have the wrong waifu. Why isn't a Rubicon the best one to everyone? Come on.
Look, it's Nico Robin from One Piece, that's accepted fact.
You piece of shit, come on!
Right, we're going to waifu wars in a minute anyway. It's now, if you've been following our show, and why have you?
For some reason.
Decision.
For the last few years, you know, two shows we've been talking about a lot are ReZero and The Rising of the Shield Hero.
Well, we've been talking about Rise of the Shield Hero the last couple of years. ReZero, I think we only started talking about when the second season.
Yeah, because I was the only one watching it for a while. And hang on, you watched it.
No, I was watching you.
I think I was the only one. Wait, did Ren watch it?
No, I had to get him up to date on the director's cut. But we felt like these two are the best isekai of the last few years. Don't at us.
Apart from Elliot's opinion.
That same. Mine's Satonga reincarnated slime, but at the same time, they are my top 3.
These, I'd say I would add. Actually, I wouldn't have gone as far with slime, but after season 2 started, and even with the Slime Diaries this season, I think I'm in.
It's so good.
Yeah, the Slime Diaries. The Slime Diaries have been really good.
But we wanted to compare these two together because these two are very comparable as isekai go. They're very similar plot lines. They're very similar episode length. In fact, they are pretty much the same episode length. They're both about 24, 25 episodes. Yeah. We felt now is the right time to do it since ReZero Season 1's just wrapped up. And
you mean Season 2?
Yeah, we are Season 2.
Season 2 is just wrapped up. And Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2 is about to begin in October.
Yep.
So let's say the real reason as to why we're doing this. Because a ton of people were comparing Rita over Healer to Rise of the Shield Hero.
And we wanted to prove that wrong but instead of having an easy match, let's have a hard match.
Yeah.
Now, the way it's going to work is we're going to do 7 rounds, and the casting vote goes to one of us in each round. Since I set the categories, I only get 1 casting vote. Mm-hmm. So it's going to go. Reese gets the casting vote in round 1 and 7.
Okay.
Elliot's getting it in rounds 2 and 6, and Ren 3 and 5. What that means is if the other 3 do not come to a unanimous conclusion, the other one's the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
If you saw our Mirai Nikki versus Darling in the Franxx one, it's very similar. Similar to that.
God, that was like. This is like the first one we've done in a few years then.
I know, I thought it was worth time to bring it back.
Yeah.
So, before we get started on that one, Reese, I know you really love Rising of the Shield Hero.
I do, yeah.
What was your opinion of ReZero as a first season?
Could you explain that again?
What do you think of the first season? Because I know we got the second season now, but without the second season in hindsight, how do you think the first season?
Yeah, I did enjoy the first season of ReZero. It has some strange decisions that I'm sure we'll get into.
Sure, yeah. But overall, you think it's a really good one?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Did you vote? It was nominated in the first Crunchyroll Awards. Did you vote for it in that?
Yes, I think I did.
See, I did as well, but in hindsight, I wouldn't have.
What would you have gone with?
I would have gone with Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. I think that one did a little bit more now in hindsight.
Didn't you really praise the second season of that one that came out?
Yes, really did. Really did. If we had wild cards in the first year we did this, it would have been in. What about you, Elliot? I'll get your opinion. We kind of have all talked about Rise of the Shield Hero quite a bit. What's your thoughts on the first season of ReZero?
Really good. There was a really good idea. There was a ton of emotion within it. It's the one isekai to nearly make me cry, and it's just such a good. I do legitimately think it's a really, really good show. To the point where, of course, I didn't know how the second season could top it. Somehow it did, but still. Really great.
What about you, Red? First season of ReZero.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a lot of it because I think the only thing I'd seen of the main character was from Isekai Quartet at the time, and so to have such a bubbly character then placed in such a dire and horrible world was.
I
a real
told you
contrast.
weren't ready.
It was brilliant, and having Roswell and no the I can't remember the character.
No, it was just Roswell. Yeah,
No,
he was
no.
a teacher.
No, the crazy one who's voiced by Kirito.
Oh,
Belgies.
yeah. That's
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. This.
Yes, seeing him in Isekai Quartet and then the difference in the first season. Oh no!
I told you weren't prepared for him
I was
either.
not
And then,
prepared.
never mind just that, his change in what he was like in the second season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Now we're not getting onto the second season.
Yeah, I know.
this
It's
time
just
round.
I just want
This will only be a comparison of the first season of both shows. We will do a season 2 comparison sometime next year, just because we might nominate Rising the Shield Hero season 2. It might be his wild card. And
Pretty
everything,
much, yeah.
if they can nail the second season like they did nail the first season.
Yeah.
But okay.
And then don't forget, it's also had the season 3 confirmed.
Oh god, that means that in the anime of the year, it might be me versus Reese with the best isekais.
Yeah.
Oh, the Slime and Shield Hero. That could be interesting.
Before have we had any updates on anything from what's the Saga of Tanya the Evil or Overlord coming back?
Nothing yet.
I think Overlord is still trying to catch up to the light novels.
Right.
With Saga Tony the Evil, there's been no word. We did
Uh,
get a movie.
yeah, I was just going to say, there's, we had the movie and then there was an announcement saying it is coming back.
Okay.
They just didn't say how it was coming
Or when.
back.
I haven't seen the film, so I don't know. what
My
the story
money is on Overlord. They've really caught up quite a bit, so they're going to have to have a large gap to get more material.
Overlord feels like one of the shows that would benefit from what Slime's done with the Slice of Life, because the side cast is so big and so characterized.
it did.
Oh, sorry.
It had a Slice of Life spin-off about the maids.
No way.
Yeah, it's Overlord Palladies.
Oh right. Okay.
Oh, no way.
Well,
I didn't realise that.
but it's interesting that with Isekai Quartet, both these shows appears in Isekai Quartet.
Yeah.
But Shield Hero, it kind of doesn't need to be in there. They don't do much with it.
No.
Yeah, the cast is pretty much just there.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many jokes you can get out of Naofumi alone, like
Yeah.
him being the most cynical of all the protagonists.
I mean, it's better than what they did with Cautious Hero in that show, where they just walked by the school and then they just walked up. In all fairness, it's very fitting for the show.
that is
Yeah.
That was the funniest moment of that show.
That was the funniest moment of the.
Yeah, by looking at the school festival. Should we join in? No.
No.
Walk off.
Actually, here's a quick question: why have we gotten more of Cautious Hero?
Again,
That show was so good.
Yeah, I agree.
It was so funny.
they caught up with the material, so they haven't really got much more to work with.
And that's very fair.
But the ending was great.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You did not prepare me when you said that, Reese.
Yeah.
So let's start this competition. Shield. Which one was better, ReZero Season 1 or Shield Hero Season 1? Round 1, OPs, EDs, and scores. We actually did decide, the music scores, I should say. We decided to group these ones together again.
Yeah.
So, shall we start with talking about the OPs? I think Rising Shield Hero has memorable ones and ReZero has good ones, but they never fucking play them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, for the first version of Shield Heroes, they just had the credits going over it. So you couldn't see shit.
Which is annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, for like the first 3 episodes.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, they had scrolling credits.
That seems so strange. Sorry, just as an aside, that seems
Yeah.
so strange to me because you're trying to get someone accustomed to the show and what it's about. Give us the visuals
Yeah.
so that we know.
Yeah, because it's works. If you look on Crunchyroll's YouTube channel, they have the version 2 up as well.
Oh, really?
No, here's a thing that I didn't like about the Shield Hero OPs. When they did the English dub,
Yeah.
they actually had English language versions of the songs.
Oh
no,
no.
thank you.
Oh.
No, thank you.
Oh
It's,
no.
it's as bad as you think it is.
Oh.
Like, no, these songs were made for people who have a Japanese dialect.
The only times that English worked in an anime OP is if they were singing English in Japanese in the Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like like with fucking Cold Rain or Demon Wonderland OP or Seraph the End OP.
Or Welcome to Demon School Irium.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with the second OP to that show. is growing on me a little bit.
But it's such a disappointment.
I know,
season
It's
I
one.
know,
such a
it's not
downgrade.
nearly as good as the first season. The first season was, they were both terrible, but the first one was so bad, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly.
The second one's just kind of, it's so bad, it's kind of good.
Yeah.
I've noticed something now that we haven't really talked. Can you guys really remember the ReZero? I know we've rewatched these in prep for this. Can you if you hadn't done that, could you really remember the OPs for ReZero?
I can.
Well, I can remember the song for the first OP of ReZero, but I can't remember what happened in it.
Uh,
And then rewatching it, I still can't remember what happened in it.
I can kind of remember, kind of.
The thing that comes to my the thing that comes to my head, because I do a lot of those guess the OP quizzes because I'm sad like that, and the one reason I always get the first one is because it's usually like a guitar that bam bam banana banana bam banana banana bam banana. And you just get that image of Subaru sort of dying and coming back,
Exploding.
and dying and coming back.
I think the one with him constantly dying and coming back was in the second OP.
No, it's the first one.
No, it's the first one. The second one really underplays that factor of it.
Yeah, because the second one's just him underwater.
The thing, yeah, it's weird though because we barely got the second OP in that one, which despite the fact I think it's better than the first one. Actually, wait.
I wouldn't agree with that.
Actually, no, sorry, first one's better. So first one is
I'm
better.
actually with
Second
Reese on
one's
this
still-
one.
Sorry, actually, yeah, second one's better. My first one's better. My bad.
Yeah, the second one's not very good, is it?
I'm with you though. It's not memorable and it doesn't stick in my head.
It doesn't help that it wasn't played in that many episodes.
I think that's exactly one of the main points. And with Shield Hero, I do. I may not remember the tune, but I remember liking it and the animation also being quite.
And you always remember that word. I don't wanna lie to myself.
Yeah, just that cheesy rap rock.
Yeah.
Which again,
I did kind of like that. I just still like that.
Yeah,
though.
I do.
it kind of fits the show quite well. The things I'm looking for in a great OP is good song that fits the show and great visuals to go with it.
Yeah.
I think the Shield Hero, both the Shield Hero ones nail it in that
Yeah.
sense. Especially the second one. I think the second one actually suits the show even better.
Yeah.
But out of the two of them, which one do you guys prefer? The first or the second with Shield Hero?
I'll probably still go with the first, just because I love the visuals.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the first as well, honestly.
I think it was the second for Rising of the Shield Hero.
The thing I like about the visuals of the second one is Raftalia comforting Naofumi and the image of all four of them lifting the shield. I think that one...
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Those are great images and just the sense of this is Naofumi coming back.
Yeah, but with the first OP though, you have the bit with a massive battle, and it's Philo dancing to the theme song, or she kicks someone in the face.
Gotta love Philo.
Yeah.
Oh god, Philo.
Weird name, your chicken after a pastry.
I hate
Yeah.
that.
Actually, if I remember, Philo was just short for a
For
species.
Clitorial.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all
She
for
just
Clitorial.
he just didn't care. Just fuck it, Philo.
Can I also say in terms of in terms of how we're judging these, I think I'm the only one who's read the. I know you've read the source material for Shield Hero.
Yeah, I've read some of it. Yeah.
I've read. I have been reading the source material for both shows, so I do know the so I will comment. I won't comment too much, but I'll comment slightly on what the differences were between the two in my summation of it, because I actually have an interesting, perplexing issue on Shield Hero's changes.
Yeah.
Which definitely got more than than ReZero did. But let's talk EDs now.
Yeah.
Shield Hero's some good ones.
Shield Hero was. I really liked the Shield Hero.
Yeah, I actually prefer the second ED,
Same.
where it's pretty much just an episode of the anime in the background.
Pretty much.
That's all you need sometimes. Like that being said, though, ReZero is one of my favourite EDs with Style Helix by Myth and Royd.
Yeah.
That, please don't let me die.
Honestly, anytime they get Myth and Royd in to do an OPU,
I mean, they are my favorite. My favorite Japanese band. So
Yeah.
There's one of those. They got Cautious Hero is great.
Overlords.
Overlord. I can't think of one where they've not nailed it.
Oh, there was that one that
Yeah.
came out like 2019. I can't remember its name.
The Psycho Pomp, whatever it was called.
Oh,
The girl with the big hat.
Yeah.
oh yes,
That one.
yes.
with the big hat.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh fuck! What was it called? I can't remember. I can't remember what it's called.
So what about
Probably a good thing though. It wasn't very good.
Because it was a terrible show.
yeah.
I remember the OP being the only thing I actually kind of liked about
Thingy
it.
and others. No,
Clockwork. It's not Clockwork Planet.
No, that
No.
Clockwork Planet. That one was good.
Yeah.
not the show.
Well, I had an interesting show.
Yeah, it was an interesting premise. It was just fucking stupid.
Boogie Pop.
Boogie Pop, that's it, Boogie Pop!
But even then, the OP of that show is really good,
Yeah,
despite the
that's the
fact that it's a terrible show.
Yeah, this show just fell face
It's
first.
boring.
But if I'm comparing the EDs, I think as much as I like the Shield Hero ones, Style Helix is there, and I much prefer that ED.
Yeah, but with that ED, it's mostly just static characters, though.
Yeah, that's the one problem. It needed a more...
Meanwhile, with Shield Hero, there was still just still pieces of art, but they still told a story.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
What about the scores then? The individual scores of the
Well, to go back to the EDs, I will say I really did enjoy ReZero's second ED, where it's the voice actress for Amelia.
Oh yeah, that was a
Singing
good
the
choice.
song.
It was a good choice, especially considering that Amelia's not that involved in the second half of ReZero. She's kind of,
Forgotten.
I want to say forgotten, but she's more in the background in the second.
Less for focus.
If anything, Rem becomes the female lead in the second.
Yeah.
Ren?
Yeah, I know, right?
Ren was there all along.
I've been in this show. You didn't.
Yeah,
Realise.
you just saw him in the background eating a Subway.
Have you not paid attention to the way I speak?
I really don't want to do Roswell impressions for this entire fucking
He's
thing.
Dio, of course I'm going to do Roswell impression.
Of course he's going to do that.
Well, let's face it, it's going to be doing it all stream tonight now.
Oh yes, you've given me an idea.
Persona 5 Striker stream live tonight on my channel.
Shameless plug.
Yusuke is best boy.
Moving. What do we think of the scores then?
I did enjoy them, but I will say that Shield Hero had a better one.
So and the other side, I more enjoyed the soundtrack to ReZero. I think at pivotal moments, I think it was quite affecting.
Yeah, but
Shield Hero wasn't.
yeah, well, what I'm going off is that Shield Hero had a lot more action scenes. There was a lot more fast-paced and high-intensity scores.
That's a good point. Actually.
It
did suit it. Yeah.
ReZero does have a very good use of sound.
Yeah.
Just certain
Yeah.
things of the noise.
Yeah.
Just that gets you every time. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty much whenever you hear that, just he's dead.
Yeah, or something's gone horrifically wrong.
Yeah.
I do think, though, I'm kind of with Ren on this one. I think I preferred ReZero a little bit more.
Honestly,
But Shield Heroes was great.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because it's more fresh in my head, but I do think I kind of prefer ReZero that little OP. Sorry, not OP. It scored a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a hard one.
It was very. They're both very fitting to the genre because I think they're going for the upsetting kind of something's wrong here with ReZero, but also with the action sequences, like you said.
I think if you didn't have that great score though in episode 4, those moments wouldn't have hit.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, when it came to a lot of the moments in Shield Hero, the score did really fit that. For example, when Raphtalia was comforting Naofumi in episode 4, was it? After his first battle with the Spear Hero.
Yeah.
The music really helped to bring out the emotions on that.
Who, to make sure there's no confusion, we're going to refer to as Motiasu for this entire one, so we don't confuse it with
What?
Ren.
him.
What?
Well, his name's Ren Motiyasu, so I was thinking
Right.
we should refer to him as...
I forgot about that. I forgot there's a character. Yeah, because he's got long hair as well. Isn't it?
Yeah, although somehow you're less of a douchebag than him.
I'm a douchebag in Persona 5
I think we
Strikers.
just call him. I think we just call him Spear Hero. Who the fuck remembers his name?
Or Spiro.
Well, the thing is...
That's the name of a Pokemon.
It is, yeah. He's a
The thing is, I actually remember him a lot more because I've been reading the manga, so I've been used to...
Oh, yeah, well, that's because he got his own spin-off.
Oh, yeah, he did,
Yeah.
Especially after spoiler alert happened, which I won't go into.
Good, wisely.
But I think it's time to vote. So, Elliot, who wins OPED and score? For you.
I'm gonna go Shield Hero. I do prefer the score in ReZero a little bit more. I think the OP and EDs I do actually kind of prefer with the Shield Hero.
The Ren?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think Shield Hero beats on OPs definitely. And again, it's the lack of or the kind of infrequency with which they give us the OP in ReZero. I prefer the soundtrack in ReZero. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we didn't even discuss the insert songs, in which both have excellent ones in that front.
I think I've got to go for ReZero. I think I've got to go for ReZero with this.
Okay.
Ooh. Well, my vote's not really going to matter because Reese will be the casting call. But if I have to put them all together and judge it as a whole, Shield Hero gets more points off me, so I'm going to vote Shield Hero.
Yeah, with me, Shield Hero will get the 2 out of 3 for me.
Yeah.
So it does win on majority.
Yeah.
So Shield Hero takes the first round.
And now, just because Shield Hero came on top, does not mean we're bashing ReZero.
No.
I like to know
Very
that both
fantastic.
shows are so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
No.
Likewise, if ReZero wins, it's not anything bad.
No.
about
The
Shield
song from the episode 18, which was Subaru and Rem's conversation, gets me every time.
Oh my,
Yeah.
I was legitimately nearly I was tearing up at that bit. Again, the one isekai that made me cry. Nearly cry, sorry.
Okay, so now we go for round 2. Elliot, you're the casting vote.
It's okay to admit crying at anime. I cried at One Piece, so it's all
I mean,
good.
no, I don't actually cry. I did actually nearly cry. I just sometimes called tearing up.
Let's talk animation, and I suppose character design comes into this as well. So, where do we start with these two? Because they're very similar in terms of their art style.
I'd say the quality is very similar as well. Like, not that it's bad in any way. Like, they're both quite. They have like a relatively good baseline, and then the Sakuga elements are like really quite impressive for all of them. I'm bringing into mind especially the scenes with Beetlejuice and his transformation at the end.
Yeah.
And also, there's the stuff to do with the white whale as well. That stuff's great.
Phenomenally done.
Yeah.
And likewise with Shield Hero, it has the
waves.
It's very expressive in the way all of his powers are animated and the combat and it's very expressive.
Yeah, because with Shield Hero, it does a better job of conveying the kinetic energy of movements for the fight scenes.
Especially like and with now Fumi's power set, they did a very good use of blending the hand-drawn animation with the 3D digital animation.
Yeah, like I remember I'm still kind of stunned by some of the 3D animation they used for like some now Fumi's more powerful spells, like Iron Maiden, for example.
Or the
Raid Shield.
The Raid Shield, the Air Shield as well that he uses to win Motoyasu is
and the Pope
great.
at the end.
Oh yes, that. See, like it doesn't get more. I'm going to borrow from Ben at the Stage on this one. It doesn't get more metal than that. The Pope being crushed and raining blood.
Oh, that is such a good kill.
Lacerated sky.
It was so satisfying.
Yeah.
Especially considering that.
We should mention spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
So there
Spoilers.
we will be discussing.
I guess kind to be.
I think it's kind of be expected if we're discussing the whole of both shows.
Yeah.
I think the one thing though is in terms of character design. This might be more a narrative thing than a character design thing.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any of the monsters during the waves that are as interesting as some of the monsters that turn up in ReZero.
We don't really get too many of the monsters in ReZero, though, do we?
There's the whale.
There's just.
I suppose Belgise's monsterish design is kind of interesting.
Whereas compared to Shield Hero, we have the Chimera.
The Chimera's all right. Yeah, I like the Chimera.
Yeah, there was a dragon. There was a massive fuck off tree.
But
gigantic bird.
But there's not as many monsters in Rising of Shield Hero. The mostly antagonistical forces are humans and political based.
Yeah.
I think the differences are with ReZero. It's meant to be more. I think Rising of the Shield Hero is meant to be this existential threat from outside, like monsters, and like you say, with ReZero, it's kind of the monsters are less frequent, and so when they appear, they're like you say, it's the ginormous whale, it's the monstrous form that the Beetlejuice later turns.
But I mean, even then,
the big Cerberus.
But even then,
well.
in Rising of the Shield Hero, in season 1, the waves felt more like they were sort of more building it up.
Yes.
For the later seasons, and in this season, it was more about the political trial with the church and slut bitch.
I do prefer the character designs in Shield Hero.
Yeah.
I think
they're more distinctive.
Yes.
I was just going to say more distinctive.
Definitely.
Because you can look at like the other heroes and see, well, I know this one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not.
Whereas compared to like ReZero, you see the other side characters as like the people from the village. Can you pick them out in a line?
No.
I can pick out the little girl who becomes a maid in season 2.
But at the same time, I think that's mostly due to season 2.
Yeah.
And
she's kind of prominent in season 1.
No, though still with the characters that at least do have like in ReZero that do have some like prominence, they do at least, the very least feel very distinctive to the show.
Like the ones that do have prominence, you would just look at them and say, yeah, that's a character from ReZero. I think the only one who kind of I think doesn't stand out as much for me is the one who led the charge against the White Whale. I can't remember her name. She looks like Morag from Xenoblade 2.
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, I know who you're on about.
Mm-hmm. Like seriously, I looked at both of them and went, which one of these came out first? Because someone is ripping off someone.
I say as well. Probably first of all, ReZero came out first. Second of all, I think probably another character that doesn't feel too unique to the show was the old guy whose wife was killed by the White Whale.
Oh, the one who looks like any combat butler ever.
Yeah.
I felt it was a shame because he's a cool character. I was kind of disappointed he wasn't much in season 2.
Yeah.
What about use of color? I think we need to talk about use of color in these ones because I feel like they both have to portray quite dark in tone worlds, but they don't tend to have the animation go very dark at times.
I think ReZero does do a really good job with it because when you notice like during the very dire moments, like when you know something bad is going to happen to Subaru, it all goes like a lot darker and there's like harsher colors added to it.
But then again, Rising of Shield Hero does it very well. I mean, look, the scenes when it's really dire, they can really use the color to show off that brilliant. Like they, and
a good example for me would be the slave market. Where we first meet Raftalia.
Yeah. The use of color in that scene, lighting in that scene is fantastic.
It's the contrast between those amazing epic fight sequences where the color is like I say, vibrant, and then the muted and really toned down.
And then you got a lot of use of reds in Shield Hero, like in the waves. But then in the daylight, it's a lot more yellows and greens. Shield Hero, the color I got that is blue and gold. ReZero is kind of blue and gold in the daytime, and at night it's kind of like
black and blue.
Black and blue, It's very interesting how they got very different contrasting colours.
When we're going black and blue, we're not bringing that dress scene back, are we?
Oh, not again, no! I've just realised, God!
What have you done, Cal?
Oh no!
Reignited the internet now. When everyone sees this video,
I'm gonna have to beat myself tonight for that.
Oh wow, makes a change.
You must do that most nice.
That's okay. Ren will probably
I was gonna say he does that most nice because I can actually hear that.
Any excuse?
Trust me, do it on stream. Ren will help.
Any excuse.
I will say one of the things that I was just thinking about now is that making the character feel distinct.
Nice transition.
Funnily enough, it wasn't that LeBron, but like making the character feel distinct from the world, and with the operative thing in Isekai being a person from another world being brought in. With ReZero, the fact that he wears normal world clothes and maintains those throughout the entirety of it just sets apart how different and like out of place he feels in this.
I think the only time we've seen him differently is in we're not meant to be discussing it, but season 2.
No, actually,
season 1.
We do see quite a few times where he's wearing butler attire in season 1.
Yes, that's very true.
Which is like when he's first at Rosewater's Manor.
Yes, yeah.
But Naofumi doesn't. Look, I do like Naofumi's character design, particularly with the green.
It really reflects his personality.
Yeah, I think you kind of see the same thing with all the heroes, because if you look at it, they have a very distinct color design. Naofumi's green, Spear Heroes red, Bow Heroes yellow, Sword Heroes blue.
I suppose Naofumi is the only secondary color, really. Actually, considering that's interesting.
Which could reflect on the fact he's treated as a secondary class of characters.
Outsider,
I never thought of it like that. Actually,
neither had I.
But I think what about the character? What about the actual quality of the animation? Which one do you think is more consistent?
I think when it comes to animation, I think Shield Hero has a bit of an unfair advantage because Shield Hero is a lot more action based, and therefore the animation is more required to flow a lot more. Meanwhile, with ReZero, there are definitely moments of action, but it's not quite. But it's definitely It's definitely very less action based.
I also Shield Hero had a bit of an advantage going in because it had Western funding from the fact Crunchyroll were very much financially supporting the project.
What I would also bring up is that with ReZero, most of the magic we see is quite basic and elemental, whereas a Shield Hero goes really over the top with its stuff.
But at the same time, I feel like we'll go back into that more like in world design and stuff.
Yeah, we're not going to count the world design and all that because that's another round we're doing. But Well,
I think I can say with confidence, Shield Hero has the better animation.
Yeah.
I mean, but like you say, ReZero doesn't necessarily have the need to input as much of that, and does quite well with it.
and there's some amazing sequences, like the way they animate snow in that show is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Which really gets shown off in the OVA, if you've seen that.
Oh yeah, the OVA is fantastic. Oh, fucking hell, I don't know. I think we're gonna have to just vote on it.
Yeah.
Reese, where are you
I
going?
will personally go Shield Hero.
Ren?
I'm going Shield Hero as well.
Oh, this is very, very hard for me, but I think
Oh my.
Shield Hero kind of just does that a little bit more. I'm gonna go for Shield Hero.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Shield Hero anyway because.
But
I
it was
thought-
so
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Because also, I think with Shield Hero, the character designs are definitely a bit more creative and a bit more distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I think of like some of ReZero's character designs, just Rem and Ram.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the two? Oh,
Yeah.
their fringes are on the opposite side and their hair's kind of different.
Okay,
The
let's.
worst thing is I hadn't even noticed.
Did
that
you
the
know
fringes
they're
were on the opposite
sisters?
I didn't even notice that the fringes were on the opposite side. I'm so sorry.
Did you really not?
Speaking of which,
You're a professional anime reviewer, and come on.
Oh, but I will say though, were you guys on the internet for when it was first announced it was going to get an anime?
no.
No, I wasn't watching anime at that point.
I
Well,
was watching quite a bit, but I don't remember there being much of a backlash.
Oh,
or
actually,
anything.
No,
I was
no,
watching anime, just not quite as prominently as I was.
Well, there was a backlash, but everyone thought Ram and Rem were going to be lesbians.
Oh, they got that wrong.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah,
they can still be hentai exists.
yeah.
Not to mention, let's not forget citrus.
Let's put that to one side.
Two characters who share a lot of traits and look very similar. Yeah, let's couple them.
Yeah.
They're totally not related in any way.
I mean, you have seen. There is that meme of how can you tell two characters are in love? Made them look like siblings.
Hell, people
Yeah.
fucking ship Supernatural, the two main characters in Supernatural, for the longest time.
I do not watch that. It looks like Twilight knockoff.
Look, can we get away from creepy incest fan fiction for a little bit?
Yes,
and,
we shall save it for tonight's stream.
and talk about best side cast.
Oh damn!
Right, this is a hard one. This is.
Are we including villains in this one?
Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
Okay.
Let's start with the villains then.
Yeah.
You've got I'd say the main villains in Shield Hero
The world.
season 1. Well, it's the world itself.
The world.
But it's kind of mine and the Church of the Free Heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who kind of more get revealed later down the line. The Waves are more treated as a second antagonist than the primary one.
Yeah, I think it's just due to the arc. The Waves are definitely a more consistent threat, but in this particular arc, they're not really.
The waves aren't at the forefront of everyone's minds.
Yeah.
Especially for Naofumi.
In terms of ReZero, the antagonist is Belgeese,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also a secondary. But there's also hints that Roswell might not be on the up and up.
But at the same time, we didn't really get full confirmation of that until season 2.
Season 2 is when we stretch out Roswell's character a little bit more. But again, we're not talking season 2; we're talking season 1.
Yeah, but I will say though, there's more of a hint towards him being a villain in Isekai Quartet.
Then there is in season 1.
Yeah.
In season 1, it's just kind of like, this guy's a sketchy bastard.
Yeah, I don't trust him, and I'm not going to.
He looks like one of the antagonists from Hunter x Hunter. No thanks.
Exactly.
So,
It's
yeah,
good.
Especially when he wants to take a bath with Subaru.
So then you just
I
go.
know. How is he so sexy? What the fuck?
So then you go the
Super.
it's one of those you just go. Okay, I often wonder what would happen if what's the one from Hunter x Hunter again?
Hisoka.
If Hisoka and Kefka's love child became a thing.
Voiced by Dio.
Yeah.
Voiced by Dio. Yes, there we go.
Because of course it would be. Because everyone is voiced by Dio now. I'm voiced by Dio. Ren's voiced by Dio. The Wolves are voiced by Dio. Hey, anyone outside? You're voiced by Dio now.
Anyone else
What?
voiced by Dio? I'm out of here. I do. There's amazing how much you can get out of SpongeBob memes.
It's the most memorable show.
It doesn't help that Roswell's character is basically the same as the one from Escape the Infinite as well.
Yes.
except
Somehow
ReZero
more gay.
Except ReZero came out first.
Yes,
brother.
yeah.
Technically, so I think we know who's ripping off who.
Yeah.
And also, Adam.
I'm sorry. He doesn't scream fabulous every time he walks in a room. You're the one, yes, you're the star. We need you back on bass guitar. You're fabulous.
I'm fabulous.
But I think in terms of the antagonists, Belgies is really good as an antagonist.
Yeah.
It's the fact that
But he's not there for long enough.
He's not there for long
Yeah,
enough.
like
that's the
he
problem.
he more just comes out around the second half. Around the second half, and we don't really see too much of him.
But I think the benefit of that is because he's not anticipated and he's not shown early on to be like this significant villain. He just comes around and it's like, wow, this character is all consuming and he's the only thing that Subaru is now able to focus on.
The one thing I'll say about Belgies is, I feel like he's the one example, and again, we're not going to season 2, but he's the one example where knowing more about him actually made him a better character. Normally I'm with villains, I'm kind of like, keep them as minimalistic as possible.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you risk making them sympathetic.
I mean, counter argument, Arden from Final Fantasy 15.
I'm kind of not the best fan of Arden as a villain.
Really?
I'm kind of a bit...
In my opinion, he's the best Final Fantasy villain since Sephiroth.
Also, on that basis, you do have to kind of go out of your way to get his motivation more than anything else. You don't really get it just playing the base story alone. That's a conversation for another time.
Yep. So, back on track.
Then we got Mine and the Church of the Free Heroes. Again, the Church of the Free Heroes, they come even more out of nowhere than Belgies does.
But if you ask me, Mine has one of the best setups for any villain in anime.
Yeah.
She seems so innocent wanting to help Naofumi, only to then backstab him and be the reason why he's so despised in the world. And she consistently is shown to be an downright bitch and constantly makes you hate her more and more.
And causes Anime News Network to write loads of stupid articles.
I do think at times throughout she can appear as a bit of a Team Rocket, like she's more of a nuisance than like an active threat.
Yeah, but I don't see her. I mean, if you really look at it, it makes Naofumi's time in that world miserable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I mean, the fact that she
should we have the king into the villain route? Because
I think
added fuel to the fire.
Yeah, no. Trash should definitely be added to the fire. I keep forgetting what his real name is before punishment.
I don't think you need to know it.
One of my favourite moments in Shield Hero actually revolves around him, which is when he says, "If I can't threaten you, I'll threaten your companions."
Yeah. And
Naofumi's response is, basically, do that and you're going to regret being born.
Yeah.
It's the thing is about him is you don't know that much about him in Shield Hero, and they go a bit more detail in the light novels, like the fact he's a war hero and
there's also a massive spoiler later on.
Oh yes.
How about the just thinking about other characters in ReZero to consider from the villain standpoint, the murderous lady from the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
We don't really get too much from her though. She's just kind of there and then wanders off. We don't see her again until season 2.
Oh, and then there was the slave handler that took all the demi-humans from Raftalia's arc, which was, wow, how dumb do you get?
Yeah.
And even with the fucking carriage driver, what's his name?
Otto.
Yeah, he doesn't even become relevant until season 2, really.
Yeah, he's not even side characters not.
Sorry, side characters.
Yeah. My name is Otto. I drive the car too.
Come on, little dudes, let's get in. Let's fight this whale.
But it's just the fact that, like, why would she, of all characters, I didn't expect him to get an arc. Like, I didn't expect him to become relevant.
That's the thing about ReZero. Almost every side character gets an arc.
Yeah.
Shield Hero definitely has a few throwaway ones. At this point in time, they might get more down the line.
Well, I mean, if we reduce it down to the recurring side characters, it's Naofumi's party, it's the heroes, and it's
the band.
And it's the king.
And even then, we don't find the bow and sword hero are kind of to the side for most of it.
Yeah,
I think I think we're gonna get more of them within season 2.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you do kind of see. You more see what they're like through their actions, how everyone's sort of treating this like a video game. Meanwhile, Naofumi is thinking, "No, you idiots! This is an actual world where things are bad. Consequences happen."
Because literally the best example is Sword Hero kills the dragon.
Sword Hero kills the dragon, sends a poison.
Accidentally creates a plague.
Yeah.
Or the bow hero when he brings a plant that's said to bring to a village, which is said to have infinite fruit. The tree turns out to be to eat everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, think it over for 1 second,
Yeah.
guys.
And then it even gets worse with Bow Hero because he starts a civil war that
Yeah.
leads to a mass exodus of people.
Yeah, because he thought that he could just overthrow this one governor. Didn't think there'd be a massive power vacuum after the
Yeah.
fact. Maybe kind of like the ending of Code Geass.
Yeah, you're the only person who actually really hates the ending of Code Geass.
I really hate that ending.
Most people say it's one of the best endings. In anime.
What are they on about? Seriously, what are they on about? I will die on this hill.
To use a comparison, Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us Part 2.
Moving on, because I don't want to get into that argument again.
Especially because Code Geass actually has a fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touche. Well,
Not just that. No.
You missed
They
that.
don't. No, they don't have a fan base. They have a good fan base
Again,
because it's a good show.
Hi-yo! Moving on. The thing about the Bow Hero is I often feel like they would work with that clip from Futurama where she goes, sounds nice. Prepare to be surprised.
Yeah.
The side cast in ReZero, though, even in season 1, they're really good. You've got... honestly, that was one of the things that really brought me onto ReZero. Unlike most Isekai at the time, it really thought about its side cast and made them very distinctive, very interesting.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, the only real sidecast that gets development is Rem and not Raptalia, Amelia, kind of.
No, I'd say the Butler gets a good arc around his confrontation with the whale.
I mean, but
Chibi, not the Chibi girl, what's the name? The one in the small dress?
Beatrice,
Beatrice.
Yeah.
Beatrice is awesome.
I suppose.
Yes.
But again,
but again, her arc doesn't really come about until season 2.
yeah, and again, she there's a lot of very good setup for these characters.
Yeah.
I think the fact that although ReZero focuses on a smaller number, the going back and revisiting situations is interesting because you can see different sides of the characters which wouldn't come out
If you didn't have that intro,
Yes.
Yeah.
If you didn't have that premise.
I think as well. You've also got. The characters. They actually do with the characters' ideas of who they are. They do think of, and this will go into something in a bit. The power structures in that world.
Yes, and there's a very predominant character we can talk about within power structures within Shield Hero.
Whereas with Shield Hero, again, we didn't really talk about the Church of the Three Heroes. The Pope is not much of a surprise villain.
No.
Not
'Cause
really, it's kind of
let's face it, the Pope's always evil in anime.
It's kind of
Just like the real world.
it's kind of obvious that it's kind of obvious that the Pope would be a foil to Naofumi considering the.
It's called the Church of the Three Heroes.
Yeah.
But he is slightly. But we do have that scene where they try to throw us off with him actually allowing Naofumi to use their services
Yeah.
briefly and saying, "Look," but that was also kind of weird. Like, okay, if you really hate this guy, why are you letting him anywhere near your shit?
Well, they did it because they could charge him overinflated prices
Oh yeah, true.
compared to the other heroes.
Um,
So it's literally, we hate you, but we're going to make money off you.
I think there's 4 characters we haven't talked about yet, which we really do need to talk about, and that's Raptalia, Philo, Rem, and Amelia.
Yeah.
Raptalia, by God, she is such a good character.
Yeah, she's the best girl.
She is amazing. She's awesome.
I do. Also, the one thing she and Amelia have in common, they have not had good sex education.
No.
It's the fact that you kind of see. It's most apparent. Raphtalia's development is like the physical changes, like literally growing from a child into an adult.
And they could have made this just easy. Okay, it's okay. They could have made this very much the. Okay, this is just our excuse for now it's okay for Naofumi to lurch over her.
Except, no, she, like...
They actually come up with an explanation and it ties into the racism angle.
Also, her Naofumi more sees her as, like, more of a father, as a father role rather than a mother.
Until the end of the season where he completely does a 180.
Yeah.
Roswell did the same in season 2 with Matt, weirdly.
Yeah. But to be fair, I didn't find that that too bad because I think there was a natural progression with that one.
Yeah.
And also, it's not a case of that. It's not the Usagi drop situation where that's how Raptalia saw it all along.
Yeah.
They sort of changed their mind. Like it's also Raptalia. I could go into whole detail about this, but that's for another time. I think the other thing about Raptalia is she gets probably the most development out of all 4 of these characters.
Yeah.
Not to mention, also, like, with Raptalia, I kind of see her like I think out of all the characters, how do I explain it?
Especially if you add Melty into the list as well.
Yeah, you
Discuss
can
it.
add Melty, definitely.
Yeah.
She's an awesome character.
Yeah.
And
she ties very much into the rest of into the villain
Yeah.
angle, which is
Yeah.
why it's
Yeah, like
struggle
Maya's
with
constantly
it.
trying to kill Melty so that she can ascend.
the throne, and it's again ties to the power structures in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Again, really good villain. You despise her, but you despise her, and you understand her plots, her motives very well.
Which doesn't really make sense lore-wise, considering Malty was born after her. So why is she in line to the throne first?
I think it's because the Queen decided it.
Yeah, no, there's no straight succession from birthright in
Queen,
the world.
Yeah, the Queen decided because she knew how much of a monster mind was.
She was like, oh, fuck me, I cannot leave
And,
this to her.
Anyway, with Raptalia, you can definitely tell like that she is like the anchor that keeps Naofumi centered in this world because because of course with the entire world against him, she's pretty much the only person who understands and like actually full on cares for him, and it's just sort of like, okay, I'm gonna save this world, but just so I can protect her.
Yeah.
And as much as I like the ship between Naofumi and Raphtalia, I don't think I like it as much as, say, Subaru and Amelia.
Yeah.
Well, that's because the ship between Naofumi and Raphtalia wasn't always meant to be.
There,
So,
it's
yeah.
kind of been brought in
Yeah,
later.
it's not.
Especially compared to the light novels, where Naofumi just only sees her as his daughter, basically.
Yeah.
Up and again, it's very much up until the end of that season where we get the debate of was it a hug or was it a kiss at the end of season 1. Debate that instead of Titanic, guys. That's way more interesting.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna say
but again, that wasn't really in the light novels.
Yeah, that's an additional scene,
Yeah.
which to me says season 2 is not going to adapt the light novels, and after this point, we're going to be anime only.
Yeah.
I really get a feeling, especially since they already announced season 3.
Yeah.
With the announced source material they've got to adapt, I think the source material going forward is going to be a lot more minimal.
But at the same time, though, Overlord season 3 came out very quickly after season 2.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, but the difference is there they had material to work with, and it's more. Also, Overlord is a very faithful adaptation.
Yeah.
Up to the point that we did. Rising of Shield Hero has been slowly making a few changes here and there.
Also, let's face it, Overlord was able to come out so fast because it skipped on the animation.
Yeah.
Touche, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for Ainz's baby goats.
But also, but I remember, you remember we were watching season 1 and getting prep for season 2, and we had our friend Maya over.
Oh yeah.
Over. She really loved the Subaru Amelia thing in the final episode.
Yeah, I
Yeah. And for most of it, a lot of people were shipping Subaru and Rem.
yeah.
Which I think a lot of people will see that. Like, of course, I'd say it's a fruits basket situation where you can see either of them
I'd
working.
say you can see justifications for both of them. I mean, there's the correct choice, but not saying that Rem and Subaru wouldn't have had a good relationship. But I think it would be. You could see it if it was to happen.
Yeah, the thing is, it wasn't really going to happen because it's very obvious Subaru already had feelings for Amelia.
Yeah.
Well, even though ReZero has a spin-off manga where Subaru does go off with Rem.
Yeah,
it's an alternate it's an alternate timeline where
yeah.
what if Subaru and Rem did just decide to go fuck it
Oh, weird.
and run away.
And literally thought because they even have a kid.
Oh well.
They have 2 kids, I think.
Yeah.
But I do I mean I want to check that one out.
That's
sometime.
what I think makes Rem probably my favorite character in season 1 because she understands. Because unlike a lot of other anime love interests, which is just like, but I want this guy to myself. She's just like, I understand. Even though I understand, I'm never gonna be with him. I'm still gonna help him. I love him that much.
Yeah.
I think they could have made her way more selfish than she turned out to be.
Yes.
What do you?
Sorry.
That's the thing. We haven't discussed Philo and Melty yet.
Yeah.
I
Or even
love.
Amelia.
Oh yeah, Amelia's another thing to talk about. The thing about Amelia is I actually feel like I think a lot of people were way harsher on her than they should have been at the time. Like, why do people hate her that much?
I think maybe it's because of that argument her and Subaru had with her constantly telling Subaru, "You don't need to always help me."
Yeah.
No, but she is in the right in that situation.
Yeah.
We don't miss the point, assholes. It's like the whole point is you're not the destined hero, and I'm not your manic pixie dream wife. Get over it.
Yeah, because that's what it is. Subaru was just the massive ultimate simp.
Yeah.
Very much.
And the whole point is that's the point where he has to stop having this ideology because it's doing no help to him. That's the whole point of their arc. The whole point is they both help each other.
Yeah.
Hence why it's kind of pays off.
No, I think it's another situation with Amelia where in season 2 we really get into.
I think season 2
character arc.
really justified the canon ship being right.
Yeah.
Well, especially because they just stick Rem in a room
Yeah,
for the entirety of season 2.
Rem in season 2 is basically Kirito analyzation.
Yeah.
Comatose.
except
this one's actually done better.
Yeah.
because they actually stick with it,
Well,
and it's not Kirito.
Done better implies that alicization was done well.
Though that being said, we're much happier that Kirito's in the coma than Ren is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we? I think we need to just move on quickly to Philo and Melty.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good characters. I think
Yeah.
Philo provides some of the funniest moments.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Just her trying to eat whilst the food fight's going on.
Just also just the absolute naivety that she has with Naofumi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just kicking the spear hero in the balls.
Repeatedly.
Oh my god!
When you literally just see him fly away like Team Rocket.
I love that. I hate you,
Yeah.
spear guy.
And then also through her, through her we learn more of the feel of the hierarchy of a species,
Yeah.
and that she's possibly going to become like the next queen of them, or something.
Yeah, she had a great episode for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I feel like we didn't get much from her, but I feel like it's going to be another. We'll explore this more in another season sort of
Yeah.
situation.
Also, Motoyasu, I'm glad you don't have a world to go back to after this, because I don't want you going back to a world after where you've been around Philo. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Let's vote. Ren's casting vote. Reese.
I'll go with Shield Hero just because of Raftalia and her storyline.
You know, going into this, I was thinking I'm probably going to go Shield Hero, but you know what? I'm going to go ReZero. The cast was so good in that, and like even though it didn't focus on all the cast, those that they did focus on, they did a really good job with.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm going to justify my response with this one. I'm going to vote ReZero, and the reason I'm saying that is I feel like the side cast enhanced that show a little bit more than Shield Hero did, and I feel like if it wasn't for that side cast, Shield Zero would have been way worse.
Yeah.
Ren, casting vote?
Yeah, mine's going to ReZero also.
Ooh, nice.
Again, I think the side cast for ReZero is kind of, I don't know. There's more to explore with Rise of the Shield Hero because it's a lot more of a world and you're trying to learn more about the characters. There's like 2 or 3 deep relationships where you kind of understand them, like Raftalia and arguably Melty and Philo also. But I think generally the bond to the side cast in ReZero is a bit stronger and it kind of makes a bit more sense in my eyes anyway. So that's why I voted that way.
That's an interesting one. So that's 2-1 at the minute. So this is not a deciding round for me. So we're doing best world design and concept.
Yeah.
Concept.
Meaning like the concept of the world, power structures.
Oh, okay, right.
Hello again. The way it's designed.
Premise?
To a certain extent, the premise, but it's more.
Well, the premise is brought up later.
The premise of the story is brought up later, but it's more what we think of the world, how unique we think these worlds are from other isekai.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both of these are kind of medieval fantasy worlds, but they also have slightly different. One of the things I find interesting is both of them are matriarchal structures.
Yeah.
Well, at least in the nations that we're visiting at first. The only difference is it's kind of a Shield Hero is very much a monarchy, whereas ReZero is more of a faux democracy.
Yeah.
In a sense of, but
it's an oligarchy, isn't it, with all of the noble families?
Noble families trying to obtain control. So yeah, it's more of an oligarchy than anything else. The difference is though they have monarchical titles.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an interesting one. It's also kind of I find interesting is despite the fact it's all women going for that position, they are all being paid. They're all being paid for by rich men.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this a matriarchal society in name only?
Yeah, with men controlling the scenes.
Behind the scenes, and these women are just really used as a
Puppets.
Not necessarily a puppet, but more of a brand front for anything else. It's kind of.
Would you say like they're the face man behind the scenes are actually making the decisions?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of. I kind of find that interesting, that sense. Whereas, again, one of the things I find interesting is Melremark, which is the only nation we've really been to in Shield Hero in Season 1, is a matriarchal succession society, and again, the Trash has married into into power, which which again we don't realise for quite a long time. It's because we never see the Queen. She's only talked about in hushes, and we're very conditioned to believing that monarchies are run by kings. It plays on our preconception.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a twist I don't think anyone was expecting in Shield Hero, that was actually run by the monarchy, the head of the monarchy was the Queen rather than the king.
And we didn't bring up the Queen in the sidecast, but she was probably the one changed the most from the light novels to the anime. In the light novels, she's a very shrewd politician and has her eye on the ball. She's considering marrying off Melty to Naofumi as a political play with the demi-humans. Yeah. She's even more harsh on her husband and daughter after the potential overthrow than she was in the anime. In fact, Naofumi actually suggests the death penalty in the light novels, not the Queen. Oh my God! I'll go into that in a bit later. But
as you brought up the demi-humans, I think Shield Hero really does bring in a lot of racial elements that aren't even remotely touched on. A lot of cultural questions.
So at the same time,
the whole slavery thing.
At the same time, we do get a bit of that in ReZero, as everyone's against Amelia, as she is a half of white hair, like the witch.
But I will say that with Shield Hero, we see more of the other countries.
Yeah.
Where Naofumi travels to them.
That's the thing I was going to say actually, is bringing.
We only have one so far we've seen, but he is apparently planning to go to the nation where the demi-humans are more prominent.
Well, sorry, up to you.
That's the thought actually. When you take a look at both worlds, Shield Hero is definitely. We learn more about Shield Heroes than we do with ReZeros. With ReZero, all we really learn is how the monarchy works. Meanwhile, with Shield Hero, we learn how the world works, the religions, the religions. How even the culture of different species and things like that.
They also have a thing which I like in Shield Hero. They really play. You can really tell something that a lot of people who do these kinds of anime don't get, which is. What, again, to borrow from Bennett Sage, what makes RPGs so fun? The idea of watching the numbers go up.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say about with Shield Hero, like you guys say, it's more travelling around. You learn a lot more about the world, and while ReZero is more focused on the few characters and the narrative of these characters specifically, Shield Hero is more, these are the impacts that other characters are having on the world. These are the byproducts of actions that other characters are taking. This is how it affects the people, rather than...
That being said, I think I prefer the architecture and the actual locations in Shield Hero. I think Shield Hero, ReZero. Because I think the town you start in is really distinctive. The mansion looks amazing. The village is quite... I don't remember as many locations in Shield Hero.
Well, I'll actually go the opposite way. I think the architecture and distinctiveness of the countries and places we go to in Shield Hero is more distinct. Because we see the island nations, we see the impact the waves are having on other countries.
Yeah, it's true.
What I do like about both is that they both do something that so many other isekai don't do, which is also one of the big reasons as to why I really love That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime. They actually build up the world they're in. Yeah. So many isekai only focus on the protagonist and the side characters loving the protagonist and how strong he is. And therefore all the worlds in those feel like they start to meld together. Even Sword Art Online got that right. Yeah. Meanwhile with both of these shows, they build up more on the world and define them. They actually put in a ton of world building rather than just being lazy and just say, okay, it's an RPG world.
And because of those defined worlds, we go to Ren's point of it emphasizes more that these two, the main Subaru and Naofumi, are outsiders to this world.
Yeah. But the point is, though, the world hates Naofumi. Yeah. Because of prejudice. Yeah. No one initially hates Subaru. because he's Subaru.
No, exactly.
Because with Shield Hero, we see the effect that religion is having influencing the state and the people, along with the monarchy.
And with Subaru as well, it's kind of like he doesn't really have... the world is not designed to turn against him. They actually did do a good job. That one. I think it's time for the votes, actually.
Just quickly with ReZero, we hear a lot more about the lore of that world as opposed to
I
Shield
suppose,
Hero.
yeah, we do get a little bit, but...
Like, we hear about the history of the witches and, like, how they were sort of...
It's not exactly lacking, though, in Shield Hero.
A lot of the exploration of ReZero's world, I think, is done anecdotally and through explanation, whereas with Shield Hero, it's more you actually experience and see the characters living.
Yeah, because it's the old screenwriter's trope of show don't tell.
Show don't tell. That's.
Yeah.
I think on that note, we should get to the votes. Reese.
Shield Hero.
Yeah, Shield Hero.
Shield Hero.
I would have voted Shield Hero as well.
Yeah.
So Shield Hero's up 3-1. It only needs one more point to win.
I think for the exact opposite reasons I gave for the voting for ReZero, I actually have to give the points to Shield Hero on this because it's less enclosed on those sidecast. It's more expanded onto the world.
Let's see if this is the one that wins it for Shield Hero. It's best action scenes.
Oh.
And Ren, you've got the casting vote.
I've got the casting vote.
That's one. So let's discuss.
Wait, would it be Reese this time?
No, Reese. We're reversing the order this time.
Okay, right. Okay.
So let's discuss the best action scene in ReZero is season 1 is everyone versus the White Whale.
Yeah, definitely.
The best action scene in season ReZero in Rising of the Shield Hero.
You could argue defending against the first wave. I think that was really significant.
That was a good one.
You could argue one of the fights against the Spear Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favourite is probably the first fight between Naofumi and Motoyasu.
Yeah, because it really goes to show how Naofumi can't get his levels up as high as these other heroes, so he has to resort to trickery and outsmarting them.
Yeah, very much.
Which again, he's very clever, and because he treats it like an actual world, he gains an advantage that the others don't.
Yeah,
because they're assholes. It's that I'm trying to think of all the scenes in Shield Hero, but I'm just keep coming back to the fight with the White Whale. It's such a good fight scene.
Well, that's just one fight scene there.
Exactly, and I think one of the things that ReZero does really well is show the despair and absolute confusion that Subaru faces in a lot of the devastating situations to which he's exposed. Shield Hero definitely does have the edge in terms of all of the action sequences because it's a more action-packed show. Yeah. It does have a higher standard of animation generally as well. It's how it's used, I think.
There are go ahead.
No, I was finished. Sorry.
I say ReZero does have less fights, but they do seem. But the main one, of course, the White Whale, seems to be a lot more epic than the ones that Shield Hero has.
Yeah, but epic is only one part. You've also got choreography as well.
Because let's face it, Subaru doesn't do a lot of the main fighting.
He only gets about one hit on the actual whale, but again, he's shown to be a tactician, not a warrior.
Yeah, he's the one who came up with the main plan for, or one of the people who came up with the main plan for fighting the White Whale.
Thank God, they actually he got a checkpoint after that fight.
That would have been so annoying.
Oh, they would have. I would genuinely when he dies in the village during one of the attempts, I was like, please don't be before the White Whale. Please don't. Thank God.
Yeah, I was just thinking, oh god, he's gonna have to fight the White Whale again. It's all gonna be, okay.
Thank fuck for that.
I mean, you always get a bonfire after a boss.
Let's discuss, though, I think there's other great ones in ReZero. There's the Belgise's final charge when he becomes the thing from Princess Mononoke.
There's the first battle against the assassin.
There's a Cerberus fight that's really good.
I think most of the sequences involving Beetlejuice are just so well done anyway.
The whole arms thing, it's so Lovecraftian.
I mean, he's just like so. I think he's a fantastic character, and I think that is in part due to the way that he's portrayed. Due to the way.
I like how with both of these, the fights seem to be based more around tacticians than skill.
Yeah.
Because of course both aren't really that.
Fucking fight.
I mean, because neither of them are really too
powerful.
skill heavy or powerful, so they have to sort of think around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because let's face it, Subaru's big move is a smoke screen,
Yeah.
and even then that nearly kills him.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I thought his big move was nearly telling everyone that he can revive from death.
Huh. So anyway, best action scenes.
I would go Shield Hero just because it does more with said action scenes.
Okay, Elliot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Shield Hero as well. Again, it's a bit of an unfair advantage, seeing as it's a much more action-heavy show.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that out of it, and I'm going to go by which scenes had me the most on edge. And on that vote, I'm going ReZero, just because those scenes had me a bit on edge, and it could have. Whereas I didn't feel as on edge with the Shield Hero ones. So Ren.
Not even in the fight against the Pope.
That not really. No, I still thought now Fumi's definitely going to come out on top here. And
Also, if I may have a point, the stakes are a lot lower in ReZero because Subaru can just respawn.
Yeah. I mean,
So that kind of takes out of it.
I mean, we
But
don't
there is a
really
lot
get much more development from his powers until season 2.
yeah.
But there is also eventually shown there is a lot more to lose.
Yeah.
No, I mean, my vote here is going for Shield Hero. I mean, overall, it is a lot higher standard of
So
animation.
that means already Shield Hero
Yeah,
wins.
in round 4.
Five.
Round 5 knockout.
So 4-1. So 2 more rounds to go, and ReZero's playing for pride.
Yes.
Let's see if we can.
So it's a main character next.
Yes, it's main character time. So
Subaru.
Subaru and now Fumi. Both are very interesting characters as a whole. Like they also come from very different backgrounds as well. Now Fumi's a somewhat successful college student in his early 20s, and Subaru is basically a high school dropout.
Yeah.
Who's not really succeeded much in anything.
I mean, now for me, Alfie, if I remember at the beginning, we got a bit more from him while he was in the real world. If I remember, it was sort of like he was kind of going to be kicked out of his parents' house, but he really had to spoil it, so he thought, okay, he can stay with us. And something.
And also just goes to show that reading is dangerous.
Yeah.
Don't touch books, kids.
I do.
Oh God, I'm writing one. I'm dead.
I think the big difference is their first encounters with the world. Like Subaru has a way more positive first encounter when he meets Amelia compared to now Fumi, where he meets Mine first.
Yeah.
And I do
well,
like
the first meeting with both is kind of positive. It's not until later in the episode when Mine really shows the true colours.
Well, I will go against that because when they're all lining up for the parties, the other heroes have a full party.
Yeah.
Now Fumi's just by himself initially.
Yeah, can I just say, fucking Spear Hero's a hog. He has 5. He has like 5 allies. Everyone else has like 3.
Yeah.
I think the other thing about it is I feel like now out of the two of them, they both have a lot of character development throughout the entire show. And I feel like we talk a lot about the development as well. And I think the one thing we need to base that on at the end as well is their finest moments.
Yeah.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, my opinion on this one. I think Subaru's finest moment is when he realizes he needs to hide himself and ask other people for help to save Amelia.
Yeah.
And even does, basically he says his rival and enemy, look, I can't do this, but you can.
Yeah.
He did that before Thor ever did it in Ragnarok. But now Fumi's finest moment is saving Mine and Trash from being killed.
Yeah.
You can say that, yeah.
Because he swallows his pride and says, "I will not. I will not let. This isn't going to help anything."
It's definitely where he shows the most progression.
Yeah. But even then, I will go back to the initial slave market, where he was literally just going to get a slave just to abuse.
Was he?
Yeah. Because he was literally going down the dark path of, I'm only going to use her for combat, I don't care about her, I need party members to level up, otherwise I will die.
I think that's a really interesting thing, and thinking about the backgrounds of each of the characters. Like you illustrated, Subaru is kind of a dropout, maybe unsuccessful in life. Now Fumi comes from a relative, he's doing relatively
look
well.
at the two as well. Now Fumi definitely has a much harsher start than Subaru did.
That's what I find interesting is they go into these worlds with these preconceived notions, and Subaru comes in and has like a pretty good start apart from the whole murderous thing, like meeting Amelia, and then that kicks in and he realizes the shit that he's in. Now Fumi is brought in with expectations of being heralded as a great person, and then immediately finds that he's been shit on by the entirety of the
You
world.
gotta love as well in both of them. Not quite in ReZero, but more in Rise of the Shield 2. It's just like, oh, it's another world. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, even when you
Sure.
open the book, you just went, that sounds very light novel.
Yeah. But because I think Subaru tries so hard not to fail in so many instances, like, you know, trying to save all of his friends, trying to stop people from dying. Whereas Naofumi, like you say, is so jaded and just wants to fuck off the rest of the world practically.
Yeah.
And to see how both of them shift from those initial standpoints, I think is so interesting.
The interesting
They
thing
both
is
do
now,
really well.
Fumi in the early take, he's more of an anti-hero than anything else. If anything, they more prove though, and then as they go down the line, oh no, he's the one that's acting like a true hero compared to the others who are really just in this for the glory.
Yeah,
Especially the spear hero.
Yeah, because they've got, like, initially, Naofumi used to go around intimidating people using that reputation before changing his ways, thinking, this will pace me as a villain. I don't have to be that villain.
Yeah,
I mean, the only one who actually takes pity on him at the beginning is the blacksmith who gives him his armor.
Can I say I'm glad I'm not making the casting vote in this, because these are two of my favourite characters from the last few
really
years.
difficult.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I feel like now Fumi does get a bit more of a fun side as the show goes on.
Yeah.
He does sort of like lighten up, and he's very good to Raftalia and Philo.
Yeah, because I will say that with Naofumi, most of his pressure and negativity is from the world around him, where Subaru is self-inflicted, because he kills himself a lot.
Well, yes, but he's also been put in that position completely without his will, and he's got no way out.
And
to go
I'm
I'm not saying that one's better or worse.
when you really look at it, Naofumi has a harsher start.
Yeah.
However, Subaru definitely has a more difficult challenge because he's trying to save his friends against impossible odds,
and he can't even.
And he's weak himself.
He can't even tell people what he's experiencing.
Yeah.
And yet he keeps.
I also kind of like the fact that by the end of season 1, he's kind of everything he does for Amelia is entirely for Amelia. It's not for himself.
Yeah, the thing I also really like, and what I really like about Subaru, which is something they could have easily ignored, but they didn't, and I love that. Every death affects him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He still remembers every death. Like, you remember, I think, when the mansion was like covered in frost, he saw everyone dead and he died himself. He was out of it until his next death.
Yeah.
Just lying so completely distraught.
Can I also add to the list when he thinks Rem has been erased from existence as well?
Yeah.
That's and that being said as well, I think every time now Fumi has something go against him, that defines him as well.
Yeah.
I one of the episode 4 as well is another one to talk about. That's just such a great episode.
Yeah.
I think Naofumi is elevated by the sidecast more than Subaru's is more of a personal journey because he can't express to anyone what's happening.
Whereas now Fumi's is more defined by his relationship with Raftalia, with Philo, the world around him, his desire to just get back home, and by the end he's basically preparing for all his friends to have something for him after he goes back.
Yeah.
And I think you get a sense by the end of that season, he is seriously considering not going back for the sake of everyone else. And I think that's a major moment for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to mention, Naofumi has the patience of a saint.
Yes.
Like he's criticized by the world and still expected to save it. I'll be honest, at that point I would just go, no, fuck you, I'm joining the bad side. I'm destroying your world.
Well, I actually had in my mind, if I was going to do a Shield Hero spin-off, what I would do is I would write a story where now Fumi is summoned by the demi-human society, and he does lead them in an all-out war.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just sort of does a revolution against
because he's given everything that Motoyasu had in his turn because he. And as a result, it corrupts him.
And I think the interesting thing is they would be able to justify it from the same standpoint that they justified him, having this narrative against him, is that they said, oh, he was always evil, but it wouldn't have had to be that way, which is that's an interesting way to take it actually.
But my opinion is basically I really love the character development of both of these characters. I do not know how I'm going to vote in this.
Yeah, but I will say also that Naofumi literally has to continue in the world he's in. He can't just do a Subaru and reset. He has to live through it all.
True, yeah.
And he can't change something that easily.
Oh, and death is permanent for him.
Yeah.
It's so he's got a lot more to. In a sense, he's got a lot more to lose in the moment.
Yeah.
But again, I know they're going to add more consequences for Subaru down the line. There's going to be some consequence to it. They've already.
I mean, they already kind of did that in season 2 with his multiple deaths, supposedly mostly being him transported to another world.
Yeah.
That he's
and
not.
all the bad things that happen in the other world still happen.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah.
It just creates a branching timeline.
Wow, I didn't realise they ripped off Steins Gate that much. Well, mind you, White Fox animated that as well, so it's sort of ripping off themselves.
I mean, let's be honest. Who wouldn't like Okabe Rentaro in another world?
Yeah.
Imagine.
Just Subaru walking with Amiga and just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Although it'd be a bit difficult considering that ReZero doesn't have microwaves.
I like the idea
True,
of
yeah.
that if they ever do another show like this, they need to you know that meme first time. They need to have it with Subaru and Rintaro, with whoever the new protagonist is. First time.
Definitely.
I feel. Do you think I got it right though with their finest moments in the first seasons of each?
Well, Naofumi just has continuously great moments throughout the series.
I'd say
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them do really.
Yeah, but I said Naofumi has the higher ones, considering he saves Raftalia, he cares for her.
In terms of the gravity of the successes, yes, but I think the amount of shit that Subaru has to avoid simply by doing things correctly, and then just to have characters stay alive.
Okay, whoever wins this one, the loser is not terrible.
No.
Yeah, these are
absolutely not.
I'll happily admit these are easily two of the best isekai protagonists. No, not just that, anime protagonists ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just get to the votes.
I'm voting ReZero.
You're gonna vote ReZero.
I'm voting Shield Hero.
I'm gonna vote ReZero just because I think there's a little bit more in the character development part.
I'm gonna go Shield Hero.
Oh!
I think Naofumi had the much rougher start.
Yeah.
And I just love the arc that he goes through just to rise himself up to becoming the hero everyone expects him to be.
Well, it's 5-1 to Shield Hero. Let's see if we can make it 5-2, or is it going to be 6-1? It's plot and story structure.
Yep.
So basically, unless it's a 3-0 win for ReZero, Shield Hero's got this. Because Reese is the casting vote.
Yeah. Well, I will say, starting off, I think ReZero feels more episodic than Shield Hero does.
It does.
There's a lot more mini arcs, whereas Shield Hero feels like one
a
long
continuous one, yeah.
That being said, here's the thing. I feel like Shield Hero doesn't end on the end of its arc. It feels like it's got a few episodes afterwards, which are a completely different arc.
Yeah. Especially the whole stuff with the island.
The island, Raftalia's swimsuit breaking the nets.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Internet. They had the whole thing of the Scythe hero turning up, who again ties into the main theme of ReZero, which is about trust. Again, now Fumi has learned to trust.
You mean Rise of the Shield Hero?
Rise of the Shield Hero, yes. But now Fumi's learnt to trust again.
Yeah.
And has had that trust betrayed again.
Yes.
Which, again, is great, but I would have liked it if that had been the start of Season 2 rather than this thing that feels bolted.
Yeah, it would be like if in Food Wars, they rather than introducing that new guy in Season 5, at the beginning of Season 5, they just latched him on at the end of Season 4.
Oh, yeah, the evil guy.
Yeah,
evil Soma.
Yeah.
Yes, no, exactly. It would be like that if we did a couple of episodes of what became Season 5 on the end of Season 4. ReZero, on the other hand, feels like a lot more mini arcs.
Yes.
At the same time, if you ask me, the arcs are done extremely well. It's not, and the arcs still feel like they all connect to an ongoing narrative.
Well, the manga adaptations are actually kind of interesting because it's actually quite hard to get them because they actually do have all the arcs be at the bottom of the thing, and it's Volume 1 of that arc, Volume 2 of that arc, Volume 3 of that arc. Hence why you can I have actually on occasion accidentally bought one I already had because I didn't realise.
Oh, what's this? Cal buying the same thing he already owns? What a shocker!
I have to. No, it's
There
got.
is no precedent.
He
for
says
this
with his coffee
whatsoever.
table made of copies of Ori.
Do you know?
Yes, it sits on his throne, made of copies of Ori.
I only
Living
want
in
to-
his house with copies of Ori.
Can we move on, please?
I'm made of copies of Ori.
Can we move?
Ren's car is made of copies of Ori.
This building is made of copies of Ori. These aren't posters. We're not really here. We're just copies of Ori.
Can we move on, please?
Never.
Let's move on swiftly. The thing about it is, I've actually gone so bad.
Calm down, Ren.
I need to actually take a picture of my manga shelf so I don't buy the same one accidentally when I go out to my favourite manga shop in Liverpool.
To buy more copies of Ori at a manga shop.
Ren, what's the name of that shop so we can shamelessly plug it?
Just goes into Ann Summers. Do you have any copies of Ori?
Do you?
I think it's forbidden.
We
and there's
do.
Worlds
I
Apart.
can't remember.
Worlds Apart, that's it. Worlds Apart. It's my favourite place to buy manga
It's really
in Liverpool.
good.
It's right near Lime Street.
Did I show you that one?
Yes, you did.
I need to
Can't
go
believe
there.
you know that.
I get most of mine from Waterstones.
Waterstones is really good, but this one, the whole basement is dedicated to manga.
Basement.
Basement.
Oh wait,
Basement.
yeah, I do go there.
Yeah.
I've been there before, but yeah, that's a really good place.
Really good
actually.
Here's the thing. Shield Hero has a really good storyline, though. It's very much this idea of... both of these storylines kind of have this idea of what a true hero means.
Yeah.
Like, in the case of Subaru, it's learning to stand back and let the right person do the job.
Yeah.
In the case of Naofumi, it's realising this is a living, breathing world and acting accordingly.
And being able to overcome institutionalized.
Bigotry, essentially. And this idea of how many times in the real world have we just jumped to judgment? I don't want to
That
be...
happens now. That happens nowadays. Like recently with the whole Dan Avidan situation.
And there was Lindsay Ellis, like a few months ago. She got a massive Twitter tirade.
There was
For-
Child a couple of years ago.
But again, with that one, I don't want this to be a whole thing about like...
I was going to say, are we now likening Shield Hero to cancel culture?
No.
That's
A lot of
an
people...
interesting comparison.
No, but it's all... No,
It
Shield...
kind of applies. It kind of applies. Yeah.
Shield Hero, I wouldn't say this is a whole thing to say, oh, cancel culture is always bad and we shouldn't be doing it.
I mean, we all know the recent controversy with James Charles.
There's a guy who definitely deserves it.
He admitted to it.
Yeah, he admitted to it. It's not like he was... It wasn't like he made a slightly off-cuff the tweet and then got a load of shit for it. He's actually done something incredibly abhorrent.
Yeah. And even on Twitter this morning with Noel Clark, his BAFTA's been receded.
Oh?
Yeah, he's been accused of some real shit.
Yep.
But so, as I say, I don't want that to be a whole thing about that, because the whole point of Shield Hero is just take your time to make your judgment.
Yeah.
That's what we could all do a bit of. It's not a case of don't fight bigotry or don't. In fact, if anything, the whole point of Shield Hero is about bigotry.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's about the people being bigoted against Naofumi for the weapon he's been given. It's people being bigoted against the demi-humans because of the way they grow up very fast because of leveling up.
Yeah.
It's to do with some villages not receiving protection from the Royal Guard because they're not considered worthwhile enough.
Yeah.
Like, how often do we see that in the real world now? If anything, Shield Hero feels very relevant to right now.
Yeah.
And that's amazing considering how long ago it was written.
Yeah, it was
When was
written
it
in like 2013, right?
Well, the original web novels were, and then it got picked up. That being said, we've already been told the web novels ending is not going to be the ending of the light novels.
Yeah.
The web novels are the ending.
The web novels have ended, yeah, but they've said that they want to do something different for the light novel, so we will get a different ending.
I will say those points are probably adjacent to story structure, though. Like, this is just more about the message.
Yeah, can we talk about the fact that the adaptations of the two? I mean, the thing is, Shield Hero is quite different to its light novel source, and as I said, I think it's going to go very different in season 2. We already talked about the Queen being a one of the things I find interesting is we talked about Naofumi's finest moment. The interesting thing is, in the light novels, he suggests death because Mine incorrectly pronounces his name and realises she's been just looking down on him the whole time. Whereas in Shield Hero, he saves her because she says his proper name. I think that's kind of an interesting contrast from adaptation to.
Yeah.
And it also goes along with Naofumi's whole journey throughout the series of save the innocents from the waves.
Yeah.
No matter what they do, every person's worth saving at least.
Yeah, and again, he.
Yeah, hence why you always see him defending the much smaller villages. From the
How do we
waves.
feel like these two handled their dark themes? Because they both have quite dark themes as a whole.
Yeah. I say Shield Hero brings more prevalence to it with the whole slave trade and everything.
Yeah, whereas in the case of ReZero, it's actually kind of an idealistic world with just a few dark undertones.
Yeah.
Whereas you get a sense of, wow, this world was fucked up before Naofumi ever got here.
Yeah.
I think with ReZero, the darkness is definitely more just within the story rather than the world itself.
Yes.
Meanwhile, with Shield Hero, it's definitely more of a world darkness than story.
Yeah. Because of what the country does of basically hogging all the heroes.
Yeah.
Where originally it was supposed to be each hero would be assigned to a different country.
I think they both do very well with like we were talking about before. ReZero being self-contained, Shield Hero being the world-spanning kind of tale that it is.
Yeah.
They both function very well within their own spheres, but you know, the influence kind of being compressed and then expanded on either side is interesting. So.
All I can say is about which where you get the adaptation anime or the light novels, that Queen needs Xanax to be invented fast.
Yeah.
I feel like though if I'm talking about the plot structure, I feel like if we're coming for newcomers, I feel like they're going to. Which one do you think they would latch onto a bit easy? I think like
I'll probably say ReZero just because of the mini arcs. It's easier to digest.
I think in terms
But at the same time, I'll probably say more Shield Hero because it definitely has more of an action route, and I think that's where most people start anime.
to newcomers, yes.
Shall we talk though about the director's cut of ReZero? How the fact they felt like this is what they were aiming for, and they weren't able to do it. The fact that they made all the episodes 45 minutes long as
that's
opposed
a really
to.
good point, actually. I hadn't even thought of that. I watched it completely different to the way you would have watched it, Reese.
And
Season
well,
one,
the way I watched it the first time as well, which is
Yeah.
I watched it before the director's cut came
Same.
out.
Yeah.
And
Did you watch it, the director's cut or the original?
I think I watched the original.
The original one is 25 episodes long, and the director's cut is 13.
Yeah, I watched the original.
I hadn't even thought of that, to be fair.
The director's cut changes it to be 45-minute episodes, and so it feels more like a HBO series than it does.
And it also adds in new scenes and dialogue.
It doesn't have too many, and I don't.
No,
think
but it does add some.
Yeah.
The only one I remember was they ended kind of where the second season started.
there's a few in the middle as well that get added on
Yeah.
that are different.
Which I remember most people would hear that ending before of course season 2 came out.
Can I say I hated the director's cut ending when I first saw it. I hated it because I thought it took Subaru's biggest victory, his best moment, and shot him down again.
Yeah.
And I feel like when they do...
That's the show, though.
But then when season 2 started, I was like, okay, no, this works.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm really going to reserve my judgment if they do that again with season 2's director's cut. Because, again, Subaru gets another fantastic moment at the end of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so difficult
At the
again.
same time, considering the shots that ended on, I don't really know where they could sort of go with fucking up aside from everything blowing up.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
I think with Shield Hero, the goals are more clearly defined because you know you've got to save the world. There's these waves.
Stop the waves.
Yeah,
Save
stop the waves, and you know build try to get Naofumi to become invested and care about the world. With ReZero,
Bad chance of that.
with ReZero, you don't know what the goal is. He's just here. You're trying to find that out.
Well, we guess.
And it changes every few episodes.
Yeah,
as
and changes
things
with each
elapse.
arc. And I
Yeah.
mean, it does feel like now there's more of one with
Yes.
Subaru uniting all these clans, and we're going to stop whatever's kind of causing all this mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And possibly, if we've got time, get Amelia to be the head of the country.
Yeah, of course, not just with the. Of course, with the first season, while we did have a bunch of first arcs, they all felt like a lot of really big build up to the arc that took the entirety of the second half of the series.
There's more questions in ReZero. There's more of a flat interpretation in not flat interpretation. You have more information on the world of Shield Hero, and I think that helps. I think that helps the story structure a lot.
But I'm not a fan of this idea of building up loads and loads of different plot lines and just going, oh, what does it all mean?
Oh, yeah,
Can't
yeah,
wait to
yeah.
find out.
Yeah.
But at least, whereas Shield Hero again, it does have those questions, but it feels way more self-contained in that sense.
You can see and learn for yourself more about it. Whereas with ReZero, it's kind of slowly feeding you things, and it's like, well, why is this happening? You know.
Yeah, well, especially because with Shield Hero, we learn about the waves and what's on the other side towards the end of the series.
Yeah.
With the introduction of the other heroes.
Okay, I think we want to then discuss. I think we can't really go much further with this. I think we got to vote.
Yeah.
So, Elliot, what way are you voting?
I'm gonna go ReZero.
You going ReZero?
I don't know. It's hard.
Well, stop touching Calvin's pants then.
But we've never mentioned feet. It shouldn't be that hard.
Yes, we got one.
I can't whack you, so I'm just going to whack him.
Whack him! I know you whack him.
Fucking.
Come on, we all know you whack me if I was next to you.
Oh my.
Come back to me.
Oh.
I need more time to think.
Oh, fuck me.
Maybe you come back.
I hate you for that.
I'm just gonna fucking. I don't know. This one's so hard. I can't like separate them in my head.
Okay, well, shall I go then?
You go on. Yeah.
You're the casting
Who's
vote,
the casting?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Cal, you go.
though. I'm going to say...
You wanted me to go, so it'd be easier
Yeah.
for you to think.
Red, you go. Calvin, you go. Red, you go. Calvin, you go. And then you go. I said mine. Okay. Red, you go.
Oh, God. I think if I go by... There's one thing that did it for me here. It's the idea of self-contained versus overall structure, and I feel like I prefer self-contained stories. So on that basis, I'm going to vote Shield Hero.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. To be fair, you know more about it. You know what to expect, and the structure. I think that's a good point.
And I don't. And that's
having
not,
a structure.
That's nothing
Shield
against ReZero. I still proper love ReZero.
Yeah.
No, this is against ReZero.
No, not at all. No, so I vote Shield Hero.
Yeah, I personally still go Shield Hero.
So Shield Hero won 6-1. It's the most decisive.
This is like the most the show's dominated.
Yeah.
But that being said, I also feel like in one sense this was the closest any of them ever were. Like these I think like discussing these shows, I knew going into this these shows were very comparable.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how comparable they were until we actually did this.
Especially comparing Shield Hero to modern day culture.
Yeah,
politics.
I'm looking forward to doing season 2 of these shows. This will-
Absolutely.
it'll probably be this time next year we'll be doing.
Yeah.
Granted, as long as Shield Hero doesn't suck.
Well, I don't think it's going to be another One Punch Man.
Which
Yeah.
I don't think it will. I think.
I think
season
at
two
worst,
will.
Shield Hero season 2 is going to be underwhelming.
Yeah.
Absolute worst. And even then, underwhelming is not always terrible.
Yeah.
Like I'm weirdly, I'm kind of finding My Hero Academia season 5 a bit underwhelming at the minute. But
I'm quite enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it, but I'm not.
Well, it's probably just because it's a bit of a retread of the tournament arc.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I want shonen.
I
don't mind the tournament.
I mean, that being said, I am preferring things like Fruits Basket and Megalobox.
Oh yeah, Megalobox.
My God, Nomad has been so good.
I haven't even caught up on it.
Let's talk. But before we go briefly, and we're going to talk about what we'll do next week. How do you guys feel about? There's one thing we didn't discuss. Well, we discussed it previously when it was hypothetical, but now it's not hypothetical anymore. Sony has bought Crunchyroll.
Yep.
They're currently awaiting a review on if it's creating a monopoly.
Wait, no, because they came out they're not allowed to.
They're fighting the decision in court.
Oh, right, yeah.
So this
is
is
that
gonna,
about creating a monopoly?
they are creating a monopoly. They're basically there's anti-monopoly laws that's saying that potentially Sony is not allowed to buy Crunchyroll because then they would control the market.
Yeah.
But to that I kind of say, one, they technically wouldn't because High Dive and Netflix still exist.
Let's not forget Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but the
Let's
market
try
share
to
of
forget
those
some
streaming
of
services aren't nearly as big.
Yeah.
Not really.
Because when you think Netflix, you don't think anime, you think films.
Yeah, the anime's a bonus, not the reason you
focus.
get
Even
it.
though it does get exclusive ones. Give us Beastars Season 2!
It's coming. It's coming in July, I think. Actually,
Yeah.
Will we do an episode on that like we did with Season 1?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, why not?
Goddamn Netflix, Joe.
Shall we talk?
Wait. Sorry, you were going to say.
But here's the thing: if this does go through, let's say, because we're back into hypotheticals, if this does go through, how do you think that's going to affect things? Like, say they win the court order and say it's not a monopoly, you can purchase Crunchyroll.
Wait, so they already own Funimation, right?
They already
Yes.
own Funimation currently.
Conglomerate them into one. There'd be no point to have 2 streaming services.
No, but the brands of both of those are very strong brands. You like to often companies when they merge, they do like,
Crunchymation,
they do like
Crunchyroll,
Funny roll.
Crunchyroll.
the thing is though, you'd want to keep those brands around, and you've then
Yeah.
got 2 revenues of income at that point because a lot of people are not going.
Yeah.
The lane anime fan is not going to know that these two have merged together,
They'd separate and keep distinct shows on distinct ones, I think. Probably.
and then you've got 2 sources of income coming in.
Force you to go for both. If you
Yeah.
want to get everything relevant.
I mean, the only other option, which I don't think they would do, is merge them both together and bump up the price.
Yeah.
Well, then again, they may start funding more anime themselves. I mean, if it might, like Crunchyroll already funding anime currently.
Funimation's doing quite a bit. It might also mean
with Sony's backing. That's a hell
on
of
the
a lot
plus
of
side,
money.
I think the reason it also means a lot more anime could likely get
Brought over.
not necessarily brought over, could get Oscar nominations for Best Anime Feature because they'll have Sony on their back now. They have the money for a for your consideration campaign.
My one hope is that Sony doesn't become more selective with the anime they decide to put out.
I think then the thing is though, even if they do that, that then leaves High Dive to really get in there and start and really become a good competitor.
Yeah, but let's face it, High Dive's reputation is in the garbage after redo the healer.
Oh yeah.
It might start to push out some of the more controversial shows that you sometimes like, or softcore porn that you sometimes see on Crunchyroll, which would be nice. As
But-
to not have that.
I was about to say, have you been on High Dive lately?
No, thankfully.
I say that's more Funimation that does that kind of stuff.
Is it?
No, I would definitely say High Dive.
No,
yeah.
it's High Dive, definitely, yeah.
No, I say between Crunchyroll and.
Between
yeah.
those two, yeah, Funimation does way
yeah,
more.
I mean they were the
shit.
ones who put interspecies reviewers on there.
My Bride is a Mermaid.
Super Hex Zeros.
Was Monster Masumi on there?
Mm,
Can't remember.
yes, it was.
Peter Grill? Was that on Funimation or was that Crunchyroll?
High Dive.
Are these?
No,
all-
I thought Peter Grill was on one of the two.
How recent?
No,
are all of these?
Peace Girl was on Funimation.
How,
Yeah,
how
that's-
recent are all of these ones that you've cited?
Relatively recent.
Past couple of years.
Oh right, okay.
Two of them came out last year.
When-
Actually, no, 3 of them came out last year.
When did Sony buy Funimation?
Oh.
2018, 2019.
Oh right,
something
okay.
like
So
that.
Because it has been a while, yeah.
That's actually under their advisory then.
So here's the thing I want to ask about. The one last thing on this one. If High Dive, could you see High Dive becoming more of a competitor at this point?
No.
No, because they need more quality content for
But that being said, I think High Dive does have one advantage, which is it's got a lot of very almost inaccessible dubs. That's what they really should be selling it on. Like I managed to.
Oh boy, yes, I cannot wait to subscribe to High Dive and watch the dub of Shokugeki no Soma Food Wars.
There is some genuinely good ones in there. It's the only place you can watch Kokoro Connect. It's Sunday Without God is on there, which is actually a pretty good show.
I mean, it seems like I don't really watch English dubs that often.
Even if you don't watch dubs, it's the only place you can access shows like Bloom Into You and Flip Flappers and
Made in Abyss.
Made in
Yeah,
Abyss,
Princess
which
Principal.
which again Made in Abyss and Princess Principal, which you both love those
Oh,
shows.
that was amazing, man, the best.
So, and my wonder is, should Made in Abyss season 2 finally happen?
Yeah.
If High Dive is not in a position to acquire it, who gets it?
Well, I'd probably see more on Funimation because of the darker tones.
Yeah.
That being said, Crunchyroll is not adverse to taking darker anime. I mean, they've kind of taken on Hige Hero this season, and that's quite dark in themes.
Yeah, but Funimation has more of a track record, though.
Yeah,
That's
Funimation
in the
definitely has more of a track. In fact, if anything, do you think Crunchyroll's is kind of getting a bit like trying to be the edgy little brother, going, I can be just as dark as you?
Well, Crunchyroll's more trying to bring in Korean animation now. With Tower of God, God of High School.
Fingers crossed we get summer leveling.
It's kind of downplayed that. I don't think it's brought one over this season.
Crunchyroll does have a lot of K-dramas though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they get so little mention.
But I mean, we also have a fair few. Like Crunchyroll does more originals than Funimation does, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and
Like Tonikawa.
and it finances a lot more projects as
Yeah.
well, which again, Tonikawa is an example where they finance a project that, again, was always going to happen, but they've now got the exclusive rights to it, and they clearly believe in this story enough.
Yeah.
Which
I
kind
mean,
of
they're doing another OVA.
Do you know what's amazing? We did this today. They showed a new concept art for the OVA, and the manga's 4th volume came out because it arrived in the mail for me today.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
It's a sign.
I will say though, if you want to continue Tonikawa after the anime, Volume 5 is where it begins. I've not got to that point, but Volume 4 is basically the end of the anime.
Right.
So Volume 5 is where they're going to start. Apparently we get introduced to NASA's teacher in this one, who's very concerned that he's got married very young.
I mean, I think most of them were.
Yeah.
Most adults would be if they're
His parents weren't that worried.
I mean, I think they were more shocked that he got married just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still baffled by the fact they had that Street Fighter episode.
Yeah. With the arcade sticks.
Not even
Seriously?
not even a fake it.
It's like actual Street
legitimately
Yeah.
Street Fighter.
Actual footage.
How much did they
Like
pay
it-
Capcom or did Capcom?
I
pay
did
them?
that a couple
Oh
of
wait,
days ago.
actually, I think my suggestion was they were playing Street Fighter during the break, and one of the guys just went, "We can add this."
Yeah.
Save on Funimation budget.
Hello, Capcom. You know.
Funimation budget.
Hello, Capcom. You know that dead game that you're still trying to turn into an e-sport? We can advertise that.
Oh, which is now Sony bought Evo.
Oh yeah, Sony's bought
that's
Evo.
the point.
Yeah, I could just imagine like Street Fighter doesn't do any better because of Tony Kawa. They just think, yeah, we should have just done Tekken instead.
Oh no, Bandai Namco play up a harder bargain.
Yeah.
So,
Soul Calibur, then, I don't know.
so next time we're gonna do another. We're gonna do another example of here's what an anime we're bringing to the table. But this time we're gonna talk about underrated anime, like criminally underrated.
Gundam! 40 years of Gundam!
Are we not doing Vanguard?
Oh,
10+ years of Vanguard.
Hajime no Ippo, now that it's all online, apparently.
What? I thought so. We're not doing the Demon Slayer movie then.
We could do that
Well,
as a
that
side
was
thing.
saying we're gonna do the Demon Slayer movie if we can all get to a cinema
Yeah.
that plays it.
Right, okay.
So
Because there's barely anywhere playing it now.
yeah, no, it's a case of cinemas are only just going to start opening up in the UK a few weeks after this vlog goes live. So I would say it's either underrated anime or it's a Demon Slayer film if we can get to a cinemas playing it. Mind you, we don't have to worry about being eligible for it because we're all fully vaccinated.
Hell yeah.
Remember?
Hell yeah.
So thank you.
We got super ultra mega autism now. Does that mean I'm now able to join Plus Ultra?
Yes, you are, my friend.
Woo!
Yes.
Look out, Deku, here I come.
Can I just say that is not a? Can I just say for the record that is not a joke at autistic people's expenses.
Yep.
There's genuinely no one on this panel is neurotypical.
Yeah.
So
I think people who watch our vlogs are aware of that. But
I know.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at us.
I didn't-
We'll just go. There's something wrong with them.
I didn't want.
Especially the streams.
I didn't want. I didn't
Where
want
it's
to
just
say,
all of Cal's kinks.
I didn't. Oh,
For an hour and a half.
I didn't want it to be taken out of context.
Yeah, just all Calvin's Kings, all me just shitting on the Last of Us Part 2
Right,
again.
Ren, go to the camera. We're doing next time. It's underrated anime or the Demon Slayer movie, depending on what it is. I'm pretty sure you just farted in my face then. Thank you,
You'd
and
love it if I did.
Take care,
thank you.
everybody.
Goodbye.